Okay, so now we're gonna talk goulash. I cook 1 pound of hamburger to 1 pound of macaroni. So in this one I made double. So first I'm gonna put the 1 pound of hamburger in here. Then I'm gonna put the cut up green peppers and red peppers with it. I'm going to put a stick of butter. I'm making a double batch, remember. 2 cans of diced tomatoes, stewed diced tomatoes with onions, garlic, oregano. It comes in the can that way. So I cooked up the meat and the peppers and onions, sprinkled in some garlic powder, just a teeny bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. It's up to you how much you do that. And I use ketchup. So a couple of cups of ketchup. And I love Heinz, so I use Heinz. So that makes the sauce. But you put in, you know, just a teeny bit of sugar and a cap full of raw apple cider vinegar. You're gonna cook that sauce for a few minutes. And I had already cooked the macaroni and set it aside in the strainer. The reason I did this way is because I don't want to take forever you having to see what you have to do. So I'm dumping the rest of the macaroni in here, and this is quite the full pan, because I am making it double because I'm going to freeze the majority of it. That way it makes it easier for nighttime when I don't feel like cooking. I will put the recipe up at the end. So after you've cooked the sauce and you put the macaroni in, you want to make sure that you've turned that burner down, because you don't want it to stick to the bottom of the pan. So I don't know if you can see that, and I'm having a hard time trying to zoom in. So you don't need a lot of sauce on it, but everything is personal preference. However much I tell you to use, if you don't like it that way, switch it up a little bit. But this is a very easy recipe. Not that expensive, you know. The macaroni's what, like 79 to 99 cents a box. The hamburger I got for a little over $4 a pound at BJ's. The canned tomatoes were 79 or 89 cents a can. You know, you can find it different prices, different places, and depending on if you like a certain brand, so your price can vary a little bit. You can buy frozen cut up peppers and onions, or you can cut them up yourself. And when I cut them up myself, I use like 2 onions and a red pepper and a green pepper, sometimes a yellow or orange pepper to go along with it. So what you'll find is you might want to add a little more ketchup, you might want to add another can of tomatoes. This is something you can personalize yourself. If you want it a little sweeter, add a little bit more sugar, but do it very sparingly because you can't take it back out. Want a little more salty? You know the drill. So I really want more ketchup in this. So I opened up a second bottle. And I like the butter. So a lot of times I will make it more buttery. Just like I'm gonna do right now. This is, you know, a recipe that you just adjust to suit you. So I'll give you the base, and then you decide, do you want it sweeter? Do you want it more like a spaghetti sauce? It's just up to you what your preferences are. I don't want spaghetti sauce in this. I want more of like a sweet and sour sauce. And I actually, for years, have used this one recipe for this goulash, for sweet and sour meatballs, for sweet and sour cabbage. It's just my own personal recipe and the way I like it. So that's why I tell you, you will need to adjust it here and there for yourself. Just depends. Now, if you want spaghetti sauce, then you're just gonna dump a jar of spaghetti sauce, but that's not what I'm making. I have to get a different spoon. This one is too soft and too flexible. So, this is just a nice filler and warm you up in the cold months. It will, you know, really, by making stuff this way, you're actually saving yourself money because you're buying more and making more, but buy it at a better price. Plan for it. You know, get those sales. I'm going to be bringing up in some videos like depression recipes and the different foods and ingredients that will save you money and help you put together very affordable meals. Now, some of you, you know, might be picky, real picky, and you're like, oh, I don't want that. But believe me, if you run into a problem right now with there's the cost of foods, if you're not getting SNAP and you used to, you really need to learn how to do things a little bit differently. So I'm going to try and give out a lot of different recipes, and hey, there are ones that you can live on $12 a week. You can buy your breakfast, lunch, dinner, and even some kind of sweet dessert. So let me show you this. Doesn't that look yummy? It sure smells good. I have my camera positioned on this ring light, and I don't want to move it because it'll probably fall down. So let me tell you what you need so that if you really want to make this, you can. So it's just such a simple recipe. So you want 1 pound of ground beef, 1 to 2 onions sliced or diced, but leave them a little bit bigger. 1 or 2 green and red peppers, sliced and chopped, but like I said, you can buy the frozen. 1/4 to a 1/2 teaspoon of salt if you want, a little bit of freshly ground pepper, a teaspoon of sugar, a capful of raw apple cider vinegar. Yeah, it's backwards. A teaspoon of onion powder, a 1/2 to 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 or 2 14.5 ounce cans of diced and seasoned tomatoes. Whatever macaroni you like, a 16-ounce box. I prefer rotini because it's a curly Q stuff and it spiral and it'll catch all the sauce. About 2 cups of ketchup, a stick of butter. You can put in a teeny bit of sprinkle of Worcestershire sauce, or you don't have to put that in, really. So this one's a little bit sweet and a little bit sour. So if you like, you can add celery to it. Sometimes I do that, but this is pretty much simple. And you just cook up your macaroni, put it in the strainer, run cold water over, and this is cook in one pan. So the pan that you cooked your macaroni in, you're gonna cook your sauce in, and then put the macaroni back in the pan and mix it all together. And you're done. And you can bag up a couple of bags of it in quart bags so that you have it handy for when you come home and you're too tired or you're sick and you need to make something to eat. So for now, I'm going to let you go, and I will put the recipe in the comments. Have a great day, guys, and watch for more recipes.